What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Neighborhood Podcast. I'm one of the hosts of the podcast, Kevin Valentin, and today we're going to talk about the Thursday night matchup to begin Week 3 in the NFL, and that is going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers going up against the Cleveland Browns. To be honest, Kyle, this isn't exactly the most exciting game in the world, but because it does start off the week, who do you got winning this game and why?
So I got the Cleveland Browns over the Pittsburgh Steelers on this Thursday night game, simply just because I don't have any faith in Mitchell Trubisky to lead that Steelers offense to the promised land. In the first 2 weeks the Steelers have played, Mitchell Trubisky's been average to say the least. When that Steelers defense got 5 turnovers against the Bengals in week 1, their offense only put up 23 points and they had to win it in overtime when the Bengals were giving that game away. And then in week 2, against the New England Patriots, the Steelers struggled. Mr. Trubisky was throwing errant passes, had one of his passes intercepted. And when the Steelers needed a play from Mitch to lead that offense to extend some drives, they just couldn't get them. Granted, New England has a decent defense, but there were some opportunities that Mitchell Trubisky let slip. And now really the question is whether or not that he's going to be the starting quarterback moving forward for the rest of the year, because Kenny Pickett got a lot of attention in the preseason. And it wouldn't surprise me that the Kenny Pickett rumors start picking up steam if Mitchell Trubisky has another bad performance against the Browns. When I look at the Browns specifically, I think the Browns are in a decent spot moving forward. Understand that they came off of a pretty tough loss to the Jets last week when they were up 2 possessions with just about 2 minutes left to go in that game. They let that one slip. It's clear as day that they probably should be at a higher rank than what they are right now, but it is what it is. But I think they'll be able to bounce back pretty well in this game against the Steelers. Granted, it is only on a couple days rest, but I think that Jacoby Brissett and Nick Chubb are really going to lead that offense pretty solidly against that Pittsburgh defense, just because even though that I think Pittsburgh's defense has been showing some decent signs of life through the first 2 weeks, I just don't think that Pittsburgh offense is going to instill a lot of confidence in that defense. I think Pittsburgh's defense is going to be out there too long throughout the entire course of the game. I think the Browns are going to take advantage of the weaknesses in that Steelers defense simply because I think they're going to get tired by the end of the game. So overall, when it comes to these divisional games, they're always competitive in the AFC North. This one's probably going to be no different. I think the Browns are going to win this one by a possession, maybe 6-7 points when it's all said and done. If I had to put a score on it, I'm going to say the Browns win this one 24-17. I don't think Pittsburgh cracks 20 points in this one, but I think the Browns do enough against Mitchell Trubisky and that Steelers offense to get the dub in week 3.
Yeah, I'm going right there with you, but I really don't have much to add on to it just because the Browns and the Steelers, again, aren't exactly the most entertaining teams. However, the Browns have found a way to put up a decent amount of points in their first two performances outside of Pittsburgh, like you've alluded to. I think with Nick Chubb leading the charge, Kareem Hunt in that backfield, and obviously at this point, Brissett and what seems to be a connection brewing with Amari Cooper, who had over 100 yards receiving this week, I really do believe that offense is going to continue to find its little niche, its little groove, and they're just going to continue to make moves and find a way to tire out that Pittsburgh defense. I also think that Pittsburgh's offense, like Kyle had already mentioned, is just lackluster. Najee Harris hasn't been able to get into a groove. Obviously, Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, George Pickens haven't really been able to have breakout games. I think Freiermuth, their tight end, is probably their leading receiver on the roster right now, and I just can't see that offense really moving. I'm not saying that Kenny Pickett or Mason Rudolph may change it, but as of right now, Mitchell Trubisky's job is definitely on the line, and I agree with Kyle 100%. If he has another subpar performance, we could easily see Mike Tomlin pull that cord and say, you know what, get the kid in there. We have nothing left to lose. We cannot afford to be 1-2 in a competitive division like this in the AFC North.